Welcome to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh, presented by Audi. Here's your host, Eric Allen.
The Jets will wrap up the regular season this weekend in New England against the Patriots. No love lost between those two clubs, but I got a lot of love for Brian Baldinger and Bart Scott. Baldy, it's an interesting spot for both clubs because neither team is going to the postseason, but they're old division rivals.
There's a division rival, and then there's also just finish the season on a good note. You know, who cares about the draft stat? No, players don't care about that stuff. Like, finish the season, come back from New England, have a party, finish on a good note, and leave it all on the field. Like, have no regrets.
Have a party. Like that, Bart?
No, absolutely. You know, every time that you're able to get accredited year, you're able to live your dream. It's about going out there and playing a game that you've loved since you were a child, and you're fortunate enough to continue to kind of be Peter Pan and living your childhood, playing a kid's game, getting played the King's Ransom.
All right, I'm living my dream with both of you guys. Let's go inside the numbers, presented by the New York Lottery. We're starting with 8, Bart. Germaine Johnson has 8 points since he started his professional career. He got a safety last year. And then how about that interception against the Cleveland Browns?
Well, interception just was an example of his extreme athleticism. He reminds me so much of a player that I used to play with. No matter what he did, the ball just found him like a magnet. His name was Adelius Thomas.
Awesome jump from JJ in year 2. Let's go to our second number, which is 56. Quincy Williams voted team MVP by the guys inside the locker room this week, Baldy.
They got it right. I mean, you just have to turn any game on and just watch Quincy Williams play the game. He plays the game the right way, max energy. He's made splash plays. He shows up every week, and he plays the game at the speed and the intensity that you got to play the game with. I mean, it's a credit to the game, to the history of the game, and the Jets players got this right.
A waiver claim by Joe Douglas back in 2021. Our third number, Baldy, 93. Garrett Wilson has 93 receptions. Gentlemen, he has an opportunity at perhaps 100 receptions.
You know, he's a talented kid, but he's also hungry. He's getting the number one corner a lot of weeks, and he's going at these number one corners. And I always say, if you want to be a great player in this league, you got to beat man coverage. And he's consistently beat it, no matter who the quarterback was. Every team knows that we got to take care of Garrett Wilson. He had a great rookie year, but now he's blossomed.
I know Baldy had his coffee this morning. Let's find out what's brewing. Here's Caroline Hendershot and Ethan Greenberg.
It's time for What's Brewing, presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'.
All right, Ethan, Week 18, finally here, the regular season finale. But earlier this week, the Jets got named 2 players to the Pro Bowl and a handful of alternates.
One of those players, Caroline, that was named to the Pro Bowl, Quinnen Williams. Well-deserved. He's the first Jets defensive lineman to make back-to-back Pro Bowl appearances since John Abraham in 2001 and 2002. Not only that, he's the first interior Jets defensive lineman to do so since who? Hall of Famer Joe Klecko in the 80s. Very well deserved by Quinnen Williams. Let's go to PFF. Quinnen Williams is a PFF darling. He leads the league in run defense grade at 90.5. He's second in the league in pressures with 64. And you think about this, the sack total not quite there compared to last year. He's still playing fantastic football for the green and white.
Yes, of course he is. And the other player that is playing fantastic football for the green and white, Sauce Gardner. He is the other player named to the Pro Bowl. And get this, there have only been 2 cornerbacks since 2000 that have made back-to-back Pro Bowl appearances in their first 2 seasons. Sauce Gardner is the third. He leads the league, according to PFF, with a 90.5 coverage grade and is the only player with a grade above 90. And he ranks top 3 in a number of categories, including targets, receptions allowed, yards after catch allowed, and yards per reception allowed.
Both making Jets history. You know what that means for us?
What?
We're going to Disney World.
Woo!
Coming up, Eric Allen will sit down with Jets head coach Robert Saleh.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information. Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets.
Off play action, a little flip there, and then it's picked off. That's Germaine Johnson is going to take it all the way to the end zone. So in dire need of something great to happen, the Jets get just that.
Let's go back to last Thursday night. What did you think about Germaine's individual effort on the interception and then the pick six?
Oh, it was unbelievable. He really should have had 2 touchdowns on the fumble recovery where he picked it up and ran, but it was an unbelievable effort.
Can you speak to his athleticism?
Yeah, he's got all the. I mean, he's a freak athlete. I've said that a million times. You combine freak athleticism with incredible instincts, you've got a pretty damn good football player.
Why did he make such a big jump from year 1 to year 2?
Credit to him. He put in a lot of work this offseason. He remade his body, and he's only going to get better. I mean, he's a second-year kid, you know, so we're very fortunate to have him.
In the offseason, will you hold him up as an example for your young rookie class this year and say, hey, this is what you want to be?
Absolutely. A lot of them. I mean, I know that Garrett's came back stronger, Sauce came back stronger, Brees put in so much work in the offseason. You're starting to see him come around. You know, Michael Clemens, don't forget him. Jeremy Ruckert was coming on strong. So that entire draft class really took a nice step in the second year.
What does it say about Quincy Williams that he was voted team MVP by his peers?
No, I think it's awesome because when you look at Quincy's career, he was a 3rd-round draft choice, gets cut by Jacksonville after a couple years. We claim him on the waiver wire, and he comes here without really knowing anybody or anything except for his brother. And he put in a lot of work, and from my understanding, for people who knew him back in Jacksonville, he really remade his entire character, his entire persona. He's beloved in the locker room, he's beloved in this building, and just really excited for him and that recognition.
Speaking of recognition, can you talk about his football recognition and also his instincts in terms of ball, because they seem to have gotten better through time because he's always such a physical specimen in terms of his athleticism.
Yeah, and that's kind of the whole thing that we believe in with regards to our style of play with defense and really offense too. It's just repetition, just giving these young men a chance to repeat over and over and over again and get some continuity going. And I've used the analogy, the Bruce Lee quote many times, that fear not the man who has 10,000 kicks that he practices 1 time each, fear the man who has 1 kick that he practices 10,000 times. Obviously he's got more than 1 kick, but he has a few, and he practices them every single day, and he's gotten really good at it.
I want to ask you about 2 guys whose stats are not off the charts in terms of cornerbacks and interceptions. Sauce Gardner, still looking for that first one, but he's been great this year. Can you talk about his season?
He's got to be able to start taking the ball away. We've talked about that, but at the same time, he's so disciplined in coverage. He does such a good job just playing technique sound and basically saying no to his side of the field.
What about Quinnen? He's often facing double teams, triple teams. He's playing through those. The pressures are up. He's impacting the quarterback. The sacks are down. But with that being said, if you ask anybody in NFL circles, this guy's having another outstanding year.
He's playing at a Pro Bowl level, easily, all pro even. His ability in the run game, he's been absolutely dominating in the run game. But at the same time, the greatest predictor of sacks and consistency for sacks is getting pressure on the quarterback. And he gets pressure at a very, very high rate. He's going to have more opportunities in the future because he's going to continue to put pressure on the quarterback. And he's disruptive, he's a game changer, he's somebody that you've got to pay attention to and deserving of all his accolades.
We talk about Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall every week. And this week, no different. What does it say about Garrett that he's at 93 receptions heading into this final game?
He's a spectacular receiver. Shows up every day, works his tail off, wears his heart on his sleeves. He wants to be the best he can be, and he wants to put up, he wants to help the team, and he deserves to.
How about Breece? He's become such a dual threat. And teams have to know at this point that you want to get the ball in his hands, but they're still having trouble stopping him, especially now as a receiver.
Yeah, earlier in the year when he came back from the ACL, we were trying to be judicious in how we used them, and then we tried to ramp it up to get him more opportunities on 3rd down and to get him the ball more, just to find ways to get the ball in his hands. He is starting to really hit his stride. He's seen the field well. He's playing with a great physicality. I mean, he can take a check down that you would think goes for 4, and he turns it into a 15-yarder. And so he's a weapon. We've always recognized that, and we'll continue to recognize that and find ways to get him the ball.
Trevor getting the ball again against New England. What are you seeing from the Patriots defensively?
Same. They're going to run a lot of different things at you. They're exotic in that regard, and they're disciplined. They're powerful up front. They're very sticky in coverage. They're very stingy, and which you would expect from a team coached by Coach Belichick.
You mentioned Belichick. What's it been like going against him over the years, and what's a trademark of a Bill Belichick led team?
Not fun. But Bill, you know, their teams are always going to show up. Obviously, they're going to be disciplined. They're going to be in every game. They do things the right way. They've been together for 20 years or whatever it's been, so everybody understands what needs to get done, how to get things coached. Obviously, he's changed the game in many ways, and he's an unbelievable coach.
No locker room was ever the same at the end of the season. With that being said, one of your points of emphasis has always been finish. What are you going to tell these guys?
Same thing, you know, a lot of people put in a lot of work. Players, coaches, staff, everybody puts in a lot of work in a game week, and we have an opportunity to finish this thing strong. You know, the good thing is we got a very prideful locker room. I'm excited for this opportunity to get one last run in New England and see what happens.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
This exclusive interview with Robert Saleh was presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today, or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
Coming up, Bart Scott and Brian Baldinger will break down the key matchups for this weekend. This film breakdown is brought to you by your local Kia dealers. Discover what happens when rugged capability meets true performance. Learn more at kia.com. Kia, movement that inspires.
Let's get into some illustration right now with Baldy and Bart. Breece Hall tied for 9th in the National Football League in yards from scrimmage with 1395.
Breece the Beast. I mean, and let's just take a look at a couple plays here and just how they're designed and how they were executed last week on Thursday night against Cleveland. You look at the formation right here with Jason Brownlee between Conklin and Carter Warren right there. Like, they want to seal the line of scrimmage so that Breece can press the hole here. You press the hole, all the linebackers step up. That's exactly what he wants. Now, out of the corner of his eye here, he has the ability to see that hole on the backside. You've basically got hat on the front side right here. Now look at Tippmann, you look at Tomlinson, you look at Mackay. They've got their guys blocked. All right, they're in great position for Breece to now look at this hole and be able to have the quickness, the speed, the cutting ability to get to it. And he does. He rips right through there, and now he needs one more from his help right here. You see Garrett Wilson out there on Martin Emerson, just shielding him right there. He doesn't have to knock him down, doesn't have to go crazy, just has to get in front of him so Breece can get by him for the 25-yard gain.
Before we get to the next play, what did you think about the vision there? Also, the acceleration, because Breece Hall, he sneaks up on guys. He's a long strider.
Well, that's what it is, and you're not going to get him with an arm tackle. You have to understand that. You know, you talk about the vision, but the acceleration is undeniable. The vision to jump cut, understanding the pre-snap read, understanding that all the gaps were going to be sealed to the front side, and then making your jump cut as you make it seem like it's an inside run, but really it's an outside run.
Breece is a dual threat. Last 2 weeks, 21 receptions.
Yeah, well, they're calling plays for him. You go up against Cleveland, you know they're in man coverage. Breece Hall is all the way out wide. You got an empty set right here. And so what you want is to run a man beater right here for him. You're going to run picks in the middle of the field, like natural rubs, to make sure that he can get free. And that's exactly what it is. They do a great job of freeing Breece Hall up. And here's the throw. A nice throw right here by Simeon to Breece Hall. And then once he gets it, he needs a little bit more help right here. Garrett Wilson does a good job of shielding against Denzel Ward on the outside to give Breece the lane to the end zone right here. His 4th touchdown catch of the season.
Bart, here's what I'm excited about. Baldy just illustrated Garrett Wilson out in front blocking. So we think about him in terms of the damage he's doing as a receiver, but he's a complete football player as well.
Right, and also having a discipline not to hold or tug at the jersey because those plays can come back. Understanding that, hey, all I have to do is get a body on the body. Nobody's going to take down Breece with an arm tackle. As long as I'm engaged and have contact and have good feet, my guy's going to win.
Breece Hall gets one more opportunity out there today in the regular season against the Patriots.
Don't go anywhere. Bart and Baldy will put their coaching hats on and deliver the winning game plans.
Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh is brought to you by MetLife, the official insurance company of the New York Jets. This segment is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day with Robert Saleh. Now, for those of you watching at home, hopefully you are a fantasy league champion.
I hope.
I hope so. I think we gave some good advice this year and hope that helped you out in your leagues. But because fantasy is done, we're going to shift our gears and go into the 2023-2024 Jets Team Awards. We're going to run through them. Ethan, start us off.
So some of these awards voted on by teammates, some by staff, some by coaches, and the Dennis Byrd Most Inspirational Award, as voted on by his teammates, goes to quarterback Aaron Rodgers. This really isn't a surprise. Ruptures the Achilles. He ends up practicing late in the year, doesn't get in games, but the recovery still miraculous, and that's why he's the most inspirational.
Yeah, the recovery was absolutely incredible to follow along with throughout the year. Now, the Kyle Clifton Good Guy Award, this is voted upon by Jets staff, goes to Tyler Conklin. Obviously, Conklin, a great guy, always down to help out with whatever you need.
This is not a shock at all. And moving on to the Marty Lyons Community Service Award, not to be confused with the Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, which is Solomon Thomas. This goes to Justin Hardy, as voted on by the Jets staff, to the player who gives from the heart through charity and community involvement the most.
Yeah, Justin Hardy helps out a lot in the community. Now, going to the Bill Hampton Award, Xavier Gibson won this. It's actually voted upon by the Jets equipment staff for a rookie who acts like a pro in the locker room.
This is really cool because Gibson, obviously an undrafted free agent, making his way on the team. The stories there is phenomenal. He's a great guy. Moving on to the Ed Block Courage Award. This goes to Breece Hall, voted on by his teammates. This is simply goes to the most courageous player on the Jets.
I mean, and it's obvious coming off of that big ACL tear last year, and just watching his year this year, very, very inspirational. Now, this selfless warrior goes to CJ Mosley. It's voted upon by the coaching staff for the player who gives the most of himself for the team. That's CJ Mosley in a nutshell.
Which leads us to our final award. I think we should read this like the winner together, like the Oscars.
I agree.
The 2023 Jets Curtis Martin Team MVP, Caroline, drum roll, is Quincy Williams.
Much deserved. Quincy was playing at an unbelievable level this year.
And it's really cool, I think. Quinnen wins last year, Quincy wins this year. That's something really special for the Williams brothers.
The Williams brothers, man, you can't stop them. So we will just have to wait and see and watch what they do in the season finale today.
Today's game plan is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech, supercharging progress.
Let's get into our game plans right now with Brian Baldinger and Bart Scott. Baldy, the Jets offense has had some progress recently, but this is a very good Patriots defense led by a superstar, I think, on the interior in Christian Barmore.
Well, I mean, they all play similar techniques. It doesn't matter if it's Dietrich Wise, that you pick a guy. They play with low pad level. They use their hands. They're very good against the run. If you're going to win the battle up front, you've got to get lower than them. You've got to keep your feet moving. Your double teams have got to be foot to foot, shoulder to shoulder. They'll test your fundamentals up front.
You want to win, you want to finish, and it's all about the team. With that being said, if you're offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett and Garrett Wilson sitting there with 93 catches, are you trying to get him to 100?
Well, I'm just trying to get explosive plays to get points on the board because you know sometimes with the Patriots, it's got to be one of those splash plays. You're not going to continuously move the ball on that defense. You know, you're going to have to be creative because Bill's going to understand that he's going to make you play left-handed. He always has. We know because we're in this division, you know, how he goes about taking away your number one weapon. Well, Garrett Wilson is your number one weapon, and Breece Hall is number two. So somebody else is going to have to step up to try and make it easy to get those one-on-ones.
Gentlemen, the Jets defense was blitzed against Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. This is a totally different offensive unit they'll be facing in the Patriots. Billy Zappi, turnover waiting to happen last week in Buffalo.
There's going to be 2 or 3 that are going to be up for grabs. You know, so you got to be alert. Tip balls got to be your ball. They don't have a great wide receiving core. You should be able to man these guys up pretty good, but there's going to be opportunities to take a couple away.
All right, let's talk about on a macro level, the environment in New England. It's an interesting spot for the Patriots because right now their fans are looking at their draft position and saying, hey, we're slotted at number 2. We can get our quarterback in the future. And then a lot of people are talking about possibly, could this be Bill Belichick's last game?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's undecided. We don't know what the future of Bill Belichick is, but we know that they're going to play hard for their coach. And you're on the road, who knows if they're going to pull your fire alarm the night before, if they're going to call your room and then do all the things that they need to. They may feel like they don't need to because they've been winning in this matchup. But you're going to have to be prepared for everything. You don't know what the game plan ever is with Bill Belichick. The issue is they're going to have to, if those opportunities present themselves, whether it's a fumble or interception, they have to make those plays.
Bottom line, it is a new year. It's time to start a new streak for the New York Jets. For Brian Baldinger and Bart Scott and everybody here at One Jets Drive, Happy New Year. Enjoy your weekend.